So, it's time for another Gobbet Opus, number 88, Cocci, from January 2nd, 2009. Last night was the first time in 20 years I was awake for New Year's Eve. Mr. Clark is looking pretty good given his stroke, but the bands that played were who? Fergie, Jonas Brothers, Taylor Swift, and Pussycat Dolls? I am so out of touch. The reason I was up so late is I had to pick my 15-year-old up from a party after midnight, and all too soon he will be driving and dating. In the immortal words of the Talking Heads, now there's a good band. My God, what have I done? Cocci. It's pronounced Cocci, not Cocci, as in coccidioidomycosis, or valley fever. An endlessly interesting disease. It is a fungus found in the soil of the American Southwest, as well as in South America. The first case ever reported was a disseminated disease in a South American cowboy by the name of Domingo Ezcurra, who eventually died of the disease. His pickled head is still available for observation in a jar in a South American medical school. It's there for all to see. What other science-oriented podcasts gives you the opportunity to see not just a pickled head, but an historically important pickled head, and listen to Talking Heads? My current patient is not going to be that unfortunate, I hope, but he does have chronic cocci pneumonia with cavities that are not responding as it should to high-dose oral fluconazole. He's probably not improving, as his diabetes is not under the best of control. But then the infection makes it hard to control his diabetes, so around and around we go. But after a good college try, or at least a community college try, and try some lipid complexed amphotericin. I don't like giving ampho willy-nilly to patients, especially diabetes, because of the renal dysfunction, but hopefully this will be better than the fluconazole. I wonder if there's a difference in diabetics with cocci that makes them less responsive to medications due to differences in the cocci rather than the usual worser white cell function one sees in the diabetic. They are more likely to have mycelial forms of the disease when they have diabetes, and the mycelial phase perhaps is less amenable to fluconazole. Way back last century, when I was a young infectious disease fellow with hair and vision, I was taught there was one cocci found in the New World. But that makes no sense. The cocci in South America evolved separately from that in the San Joaquin Valley and should be different. And indeed they are. The cocci that's found in the United States is Coccidioides immitis, while the South and Central American is actually called Coccidioides posadisii, Posadasii. They are treated the same and are probably clinically the same, but they are not the same. This patient got his cocci the old-fashioned way, wintering in Arizona. When I go to the American Southwest, I make a point of not inhaling. It worked for Bill. However, exposure to cocci can be brief. I have seen 2 people get a lung resected because of the worry of cancer. They were smoking truckers with big lymph nodes on their chest CT, weight loss, and chronic pneumonia. It was presumed that they had a post-obstructive pneumonia from cancer, and in both cases the bronchoscopy showed atypical cells consistent with cancer, so, given the history, off to the OR for a pneumonectomy. It was only on the pathology that the classic spherules of cocci were seen. There is no cocci here in Oregon, but these truckers drove I-5 to L.A. right through the heart of cocci territory. So the take-home message? Don't take out a lung until you have taken a good history for exposure to cocci. And as follow-up, when I put him on lipid complex ampho, within 3 doses he shut his kidneys down. They fortunately recovered, but he's back on high-dose fluconazole and holding his own. That ends the Gobbet Opus 88, Adventures of a Pus Whisperer. Don't forget, my ravenous ego requests no, demands rave reviews on iTunes. It's the kind of shallow, self-centered narcissist I am.